Visit TerryWilson3.com.
This is the Terry Wilson, really?
Hey, Tony, this is Terry Wilson with TerryWilson3.com. How are you?
You personally are calling me back.
Get ready to discover, develop, and monetize your skills and talents with Terry Wilson.
Thank Christopher B. This is Terry Wilson in the studios with my counterparts, Miss Lindsay Taylor. How are you doing, Miss Lindsay?
Nice and warm.
Nice and warm. You trekked all the way up here in the snow.
Trekked is the right word.
Good Lord. Have you ever seen so much snow in the South?
I don't know that I have, honestly.
Especially right before Christmas.
Yeah. Usually it's like if we get a snow, it'll be in January. But it was 9 inches. Justin measured in our backyard.
Good night.
Yeah.
And then it freezes.
And then it froze.
And it turns to ice. So that's crazy. And Mr. Reagan is back in the house. How are you, Reagan?
I'm here.
You're here.
I made it before the snow. So.
Reagan came in and stayed with us before it got too bad, so he could just hang out with Dad and Mom, and
they have food
and power. You might have lost power.
That's true.
That's true. We had a ton of people, our friends and family around us. That just no power.
That's
for days.
The one thing. I mean, you know how I don't like Broad River.
Right.
But we don't ever lose power with them. I will say that.
That's true.
So.
And I think the newer area that we're in, it looks like a lot of the lines are buried.
That's what Justin said, that they're buried underground.
Yeah.
And so
that helps.
Probably won't ever have a long power outage.
Yeah. And then being so close to the retail district, as they like to call it, since they want to charge us retail prices.
Oh, yeah, we get charged retail prices.
For all our utilities, yeah. So this is episode 342, and it's a very unique episode. It's a very unique episode.
Why is it unique?
What makes it unique tonight, Reagan?
It's pre-recorded.
So they're seeing it, but it's not live.
Right. So if you're submitting questions, well, actually, I guess they won't be able to.
There's
if it's on YouTube, I guess they could comment. But if we're not responding,
so if you got questions, and if you're on my website at TerryWilson3.com, you can of course post it down there in the comment section. If you're on any of the social media channels like Facebook or YouTube, then you can put it down in the comment section there. And we will get to it later and answer it hopefully there. We had to pre-record it because of all the ice and the snow and things going on and the what it's done to our scheduling around here. We said, well, if we're going to get a podcast out, we need to get the podcast pre-recorded. And so Lindsay was nice enough to come up.
Well, I would have busted it if I had walked home in the ice tonight.
Yeah,
there's no way. I would have broken a bone.
You would have broken something.
We would have sled you down there. We'd have put you on a sled.
And we couldn't have got you because you're down the hill.
There's no way I
got to your house, but we wouldn't have made it
back.
We'd
have had to record at my house.
Essentially.
Which, by the way, I saw your office on Facebook.
I know, it's perfect.
And I put you need a microphone and a couple things down there.
I do.
And we could simulcast. We could have you down there. Yeah. Not that we love having you up here, by the way. So I'm not trying to get rid of you there, but I do think I can't wait to hear your podcast because I know you guys are working and developing on some content and stuff there. Yeah. So that'll be fun when it comes out. We are talking about tonight exceeding your own imagination by releasing the power within. That's sort of the topic, exceeding your own imagination by releasing the power that's already within you. And what inspired this for my Christian friends out there, you'll understand, over in Ephesians, it says, now unto him who's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can think, dream, or imagine according to the power which worketh within us.
Whoa. What version is that?
That's King Jimmy, I believe. And that's
that is not the verse I memorized growing up.
I think it's 320, but he's basically saying, there's something inside of you and he can do more with what's inside of you if you'll turn it loose. And I've preached messages after messages after messages on this passage, so I don't want to get too preachy this afternoon as we're recording it, or tonight as you're watching it.
Yeah, I guess it'll be like, 6, 7, or 8?
Yeah, whenever it's being seen. But there is a truth, whether you subscribe to my faith or not, that there's a lot inside of the average individual that never gets tapped in, and that's one of the most unfortunate things of life. I harken back to what Les Brown, he's got a talk on when you pass, what dreams and what ideas are going to go with you. And that's the most tragic thing of some people, a lot of people's life. Even, we all from time to time, we've tried, we failed, we've loved, we've lost. We've tried something that didn't work out. And so it just sort of conditions us to, never try again. And so we're going to talk about that and how to break through that But before we do, let's get the, a pause for the calls and get all the shout outs and stuff out of the way. So if there is shout outs that our members want to give, of course, you can put it in the chat box on the social media form that you're watching this, or actually on the site. But there are some new enrollments that we had come in just in the last few days that we want to give. Brittany and Paula and Steve and Abdullah and Heidi and Craig and Chris and another Chris and Frank and Nicole and Janelle and Jason. I think Jason just came in yesterday, one of yours. And so for any of my other members out there that you've got people on watching tonight, special shout out to, because I know Spencer and Gary and Ron and you and Mark and who am I leaving out?
We got a lot now.
We got a lot, and I shouldn't be listing out names because I'm always going to forget someone.
Yeah.
Jeff and golly. But I'm telling you, TW3 continues to be on fire. It's amazing to watch. And Lindsay, if someone would have told me, years ago, you can make a decent income just working in your pajamas from home, I'd have said you're high on crack. I mean, there's just no way. It sounds too good to be true. It sounds to be like one of these charlatans that are on these infomercials trying to sell you some peel thrill lotion or potion. But there is a reality to it, isn't there?
There is. 10 years ago, I think I was still in an office every day. Yeah, 5 days a week.
What kind of office was you in?
Sales office, corporate sales office.
Doing UPS, was it? Yeah.
Bilingual account management.
Wow. That's right, because you're you speak in tongues.
No. I speak in Spanish.
Yeah, well, that's a tongue, isn't it? Yeah, so it's amazing the amount of what this technology has done for all of us, and how we can really make a decent income doing what we love, and rather than us trying to wrap our lives around our jobs, have our jobs wrap around our lives. And that's very rewarding, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I this is a screenshot. I don't know if y'all can see it up on my screen. I'm just going to pop it up over there. Let me get over here and see. I can.
Oh, is that the text from
That's
Gary?
the text from Gary, yeah. And he says, hey, Terry, just want to give, he said she made $10,000 in the call center from Friday to Friday. Not a bad week for work. Now I'm going for another 10K. Thanks for all you do at TW3. So, I mean, we've got Gary and Mark and you and tons of people. Jason, you've had a new member just come on. We were just talking about.
I know. Scott just made his first sale in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, comes in first 2 weeks already making sales. So it's there. The reality's there, but not to misrepresent or overstate anything. There is work to it, isn't there?
There is the hustle. You got to hustle.
You got to bring the hustle. Yeah. You got to actually do the steps. You got to, do the plan. Right. I've heard someone say the plan works if you work the plan.
Yes.
So, and I think sometimes people jump on and they just, and I'm not saying they're bad people, but they're assuming that it's some sort of just magic pill.
Well, you think about any job that you first start off. I don't know about you, but in my experience, usually about the first 4 to 6 weeks, feel like I'm just overwhelmed with information.
Overwhelmed.
It's learning
and
a whole new.
Common? Do you find people,
every single job that I've ever started, and then I learn it, and then I feel like I can do it in my sleep.
Right.
And that's how it was when I started taking calls. I was like, oh my goodness, I thought I knew so much, but then people are asking me these questions I don't know the answers to. But guess what? I looked up the answers,
and they're there.
And so now I've got it memorized. And
it's like anything else. Your first few weeks of doing it, it's going to feel awkward.
Right.
You're working muscles you never worked before.
Exactly.
Entrepreneurial muscles, sales muscles. And, but once you get the hang of it, it's second nature.
And then once you start making sales, it's like I was talking to you this weekend. I was like, I haven't made a sale in a few days. I'm like tweaking out a little bit.
Listen at you. I mean, she makes an elite sale Monday night while we're on the podcast, and she's telling me by Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, yesterday. She goes, I don't know. I just hadn't made a sale this week. I said, didn't you? And I got to thinking about it. I was like, it seems like she did make a sale, though. And then I got to think, wait a minute. She sold an elite package Tuesday.
But I like to stay on track. I like to have my goals broken down by week. And
that's what it takes.
It was getting close to time.
That's what. Well, you see, Gary, he said, "I've got a goal."
Yeah.
And for some people to think, and I mean, I know it strikes people as just, I guess the technical word is puffery. Look it up. It's a real word. It's a marketing word. It means to exaggerate things in a marketing world.
Yeah.
But it's not. If we have several members that are making that kind of monthly, weekly income, and you see it, you're around it, and we show you, and you've been around it enough to see that it is a reality. You can start to see how well this is actually.
And I told Justin, I was like, the thing with TW3 is I really wish I had 8 hours a day that I could give it, because the success I'm seeing in only giving it 1 to 2 hours a day is blowing my mind. I literally don't have the hours.
Full-time income off 1 or 2 hours.
I am.
And I could really
do crazy things, but I have to just remember homeschool first.
Yeah, you got to keep those priorities.
I have other things that I love doing that deserve time too.
But you can see how it's just.
But if you had 8 hours, oh my soul.
Yeah, it can be a full-time.
I mean, it could be like a super income.
Yeah, well, the thing is, and you'll find, because you're an elite member, is as you get into this business, stay in this business, and just give your couple hours a day, that your business is going to grow.
Yeah. And
that 2 hours that's yielding, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, whatever it is a week. I don't know what you're averaging now.
I haven't taken it lately, but I can tell you that my residual is paying my car payment for that big old bus that Justin bought me recently. You got your bus, your Expedition. Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm saying. That residual is just going to grow,
right,
and grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
And then it's just a snowball effect. And that's the only reason I got into, because one of our questions that came in was, Terry, why did you get out of the insurance business and get into this? The reason I got into insurance is because I came from the music world, and I got sick and tired of every time I got up was a new day. I had to make a new sale for new money. And I got tired of that, feast or famine lifestyle. But that's what I always knew when I was in direct sales selling cookware, when I was selling the musical instruments.
Yeah.
If I don't sell you a piano, a keyboard, sound system, or whatever, today I don't eat. And that's the life I knew from 1992 up until 2008. That's how I lived.
Yeah.
New sales is what put food on the table, what put gas in the car. And then when I was forced out of business, Pastor Tom Elkins, a friend of mine, said, with your mouth, you ought to be in insurance. And I said, insurance? And it just didn't seem sexy. And it just seems like one of those things, like, why would anybody get in insurance? And he got to showing me how, what they call trails, the residual part of it. You sell this policy, and then you get that first year's premium of as a commission to you. And then every time they pay that monthly premium from thereafter, you're getting a little tiny percentage of that, but over time, to
it's magical.
Day, I'm still getting around $800 a month from Mutual of Omaha.
Wow.
And I haven't wrote a policy in 5 years.
That's awesome.
But that's, but that's the principle that the elite package is built on. You just.
Yeah. I have to say with sales too, I could sell more if I was a hard seller.
Yeah.
But I am very selective. I'm not going to talk anybody into something they don't need.
That's so smart.
And I'm not going to pressure anybody. Like the people that come on, I'm like, I'm not going to twist your arm. I want you to feel great about this.
But while you're not selling more, what you're doing is really putting concrete around the sales you've made. Your retention rate is going to be very high.
I hope so.
Yeah, because you're recruiting the right people.
Well, and I want them to succeed.
Right.
And I want to coach them well. And
you want to see the success.
I don't want to just be selling left and right and, encouraging people to do this that are not a good fit for this. And,
right. Because if you do, what happens is they don't last.
Right.
It wears you out, because people that are frustrated, aggravated, they're going to come back and pour that emotions out on you, which I will tell you. And I was telling someone in our coaching session last Tuesday, I could tell he got bothered by what I said was, I said, you have to take control of your emotional well-being. And I could tell, talking to a guy, I sort of offended his sense of macho. He's like, what are you talking about, man? I was like, I don't care if you're man, woman, adult or child. Everybody has good days and bad days. Everybody is affected by life. And entrepreneurialism is 95% mindset. I am convinced of it more and more. And your mindset a lot of times is predicated upon how you emotionally are doing right then. And if you're emotionally not doing well,
right,
then you are financially not going to do well, because you're not going to be you're not going to be communicating clearly. You're not going to be, whatever else. And the worst thing, you nailed it. The worst thing a person can do is just go and try to sell to everyone that's got a credit card.
Right.
Because then they're going to wear you out.
Right.
Not intentionally, not because they're just frustrated.
Right. Well, some people just simply do not have it's almost genetic, like something in them that makes them tick.
They don't have that drive.
Yeah. You need a drive. And if you're not going to thrive in a business where you have lots of freedom, but also need lots of self-control, then I don't want to sell you that life.
Right. Because you're exactly right. I mean, because I'm not going to try to turn a duck into an eagle.
Right.
And I'm not judging that duck.
No, some people are great ducks.
Ducks, isn't that right, Reagan? So ducks serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Around isothermal, they're to guard the college. There's a local community college around here, and we call them suicidal ducks.
Oh.
There's a pond out there in front of the college. But literally, those ducks will walk across the street in front of that college, and you just have to stop because they're not moving. You're either going to hit them or you're going to stop. But they act like they run the road. I mean,
that is hilarious.
Well, to a degree they do, because they hold up traffic all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't believe they think they hold the road, and it's like, well, they hold the road.
Actually, they do.
Actually.
That's why they think that, because they do.
If you've noticed, they're not moving and you are. So. But, what I try to implore people is to change themselves. Don't look to me or anybody else to try to change you. Get a hunger, get a desire, get something inside of you said enough is enough. I'm tired of the status quo. I'm tired of, living on, the last dime of each month, and start living on the margins.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot more rewarding. It really is. Reagan, what kind of questions we got?
Let's see here. Pull it up. Do our first one. So we get this question pretty often, and it's always good to kind of readdress it.
And by the way, these questions came from emails and stuff and tickets and stuff we got, because we realized tonight is pre-recorded, so there's not live questions coming in. So if someone's listening and they go, "Oh, well, where's these questions coming from? How do I get money?"
These are my question.
Fear of missing out.
Yeah. Don't want you to feel that way.
So this one comes from David. He says, can we sell to people in other countries outside the U.S.?
Yes.
So what's the terms on that?
Thank you. That's a great question. We can sell to other people outside of the U.S., but some of our technology, some of our systems only work inside the U.S.
Yep.
So like the voice broadcast dialer that we use to market insurance and real estate and health products and other products, that voice broadcast dialer is legal to use with the FCC.
Yep.
Because we have a filtered scrub data list that we only dial with our dialer.
Right.
And that's only inside the U.S. So if you were in Canada, or you were in Mexico, or if you were in Honduras, or over in the Middle East somewhere, wherever, you could buy our system, and parts of it you could use, but the dialer is something that only works in the U.S. Any of our data is only U.S. data. Like, for instance, the bulk emailer, the bulk texter, those are all data lists that we get that we let members use at a very discounted rate. Our data is like $5 per 1,000, which is cheap. Go shop it out with USA Data, Melissa Data, Sales Genie. Shop out any of these data lists, and you will see that they're charging $100, $150, $200 per 1,000. Our members get a discounted rate of $5 per 1,000, and it's updated every 2 weeks. So somebody forgot to turn their alarm off.
I have an alarm set for 12:30 for work purposes, but I forgot that.
I forgot we were doing a podcast at noon today. So that won't work except inside the U.S. and our call center, which is hosted by Ring Central, which is one of our sponsors today. You can go to terrywilson3.com/Ring Central and get up to 30% off setting up a new account with them. If you want to take calls to sell the TW3 package, you can only take calls that are coming from the U.S. And if your number is outside the U.S., you'll have to have a U.S. number that forward to your number, because it doesn't our call center doesn't go outside the U.S., but you can pick up a number inside the U.S. and have it forwarded to you, and then it would work. So we do have members in Japan, members we've sold to Israel, Australia. We've sold all over the world, but just knowing that the packages and some of the moving parts within our package is only U.S. So, but we do allow membership and stuff like that inside or outside of the U.S.
Cool. Second question is from the time someone signs up, how long does it normally take for them to start making money?
That's a great question. You get that, Lindsay?
I do. I get that often.
And how do you answer that?
So I tell people that you need to give yourself 1 week, 4 hours a day for 7 days to go through steps 1 through 6 for the training. And this is primarily people that are going to be reselling our system.
Right.
I say if you give yourself that much time, then you should have a great grasp on what's going on if you're an average to fast learner.
Right.
And then I tell them once they're ready to hit the ground, it really depends on how many people you're talking to a day and how well you are at closing those sales. So for me, when I first started being on the phones, it took me, I started, I think, on like maybe October 4th.
Yeah.
And my first sale was October 31st. But that was, again, working at that point, it was like 30 minutes to about 30 minutes a day.
Right.
So it took me the rest of that month, but I wasn't on the phones all day.
Right, right.
So if I'd been on the phones all day, I would have expected a sale, by the next week.
But now, as you keep processing leads every week,
right,
and you're faithful doing that,
yeah,
and you're faithful with the daily activity, what has been your 1-2 sales?
I average, last month, I think it was like 1.25 a week.
Yeah. And
so in this month, I'm on target for at least 1 a week.
Gotcha.
So we're still early into. I've closed 2 this month.
Right. So you're working a couple hours.
Yeah. Right now, I'm probably working 2 hours a day.
Right. So that's
Monday.
part time. Let's just.
Very part time.
Very part time, and
maybe 9 hours a week total is what I'm working right now.
And the least you can make on a sale, at the sales, our commissions for those who don't understand our commission levels. Our commission levels for TW3 members, if you sell the basic package, is $750. The plus package is $1,000. The elite package is $1,500.
Right.
So, you could make a decent living.
Absolutely.
Just selling one package a week. And
again, I'm putting in, like I said, 9 hours last week.
Right.
So that's not a lot of hours to be closing 1 a week.
Right.
I mean.
So 1 a week for what'd you end up with last month?
$38.50.
$38.50.
Right.
Part-time.
Yeah, very part-time.
So that's close to, what is that? Close to about almost $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's what that interprets into.
And last month, I was only doing it an hour a day. I kind of amped it up this month. I cleared my schedule a little bit to give this a little more time.
Yeah.
So hopefully this month I'll
have you ever been in a business, home-based business, that looked at 2 hours a day, $50,000 in income as even possible?
No. I was thinking about the other business that I do, which can be very lucrative.
Yeah, sure.
When it's
but there
hot,
are other...
but it would take more than 2 hours a day.
Yeah, but you have to really hustle.
Yeah.
I think on the others, I think the advantage that we have, the most decisive advantage, is just a steady stream of leads.
I think the greatest advantage
that's my opinion. You have your own. I mean, correct me if.
No, that is a great thing. There's always leads coming into my inbox. But what I love the most about it is that I'm not doing 15,000 inventory related activities. When I am working, I am sitting in my recliner or at my desk, and I love both of those work spots.
Right.
And I have coffee in my hands, and I'm answering emails and returning phone calls.
Well, you have a unique perspective in that. You have a great... See, it's amazing. I'm just listening to both of us talk. And our past business experiences are sort of informing what our pain points that we love not having are.
Yeah.
See, I'm from the insurance world. And what was the hardest thing about me is just getting people to speak to. So, I mean, it was just frustrating as all get out. You would buy these terrible leads from these online lead companies like NetQuote, and I don't mean to disparage them, but there's all different. They're not the only ones out there, All Webs and some of the other lead companies. But you talk to anybody in the insurance world, and they'll criticize them too. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's sort of like, it's one of those, it's like criticizing McDonald's. Everybody criticizes it, but they're not going out of business because people are still eating there, obviously. So I don't feel bad but criticizing these guys in that respect, because they're going to be there. But they sell those same leads to 25 and 30 different insurance agents or real estate agents, and by the time you get there, that person is so ticked off that you're even talking to them.
Yeah.
Because you're like the 18th person calling them that, very hour.
Yikes.
And so it's a terrible, terrible existence as an insurance guy. And so that was my pain point. Your pain point is you're coming from the clothing world, having to buy this inventory, having that sort of cash outlay for that inventory,
and photographing it. And the other thing is I sell it on social media. So my phone, any given day, I can have
always on call.
Oh yeah, tons of questions. My notifications are just blowing up all day long, and this
one's so much more controlled because I'm going to work this hour between this hour and this hour. So you schedule your callbacks then.
Yep.
Because it comes in a very organized fashion.
Yep. And I can take it a layer deeper if I want to. And I do this sometimes and sometimes I don't. I'm very split on it. But if I want it all in Google Voice, completely separate, I can have it. There's pros and cons.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, it's all inside of one app. On the other hand, I know that I check my regular text all the time and can respond super quick to those.
Right.
So I still, jury's still out on whether I'm going to.
I tell you what you could do.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. But I use Ring Central.
Right.
Naturally, TW3 is operated by Ring Central. But even personally, I pay, I think, $5 a month for my own soft phone with Ring Central. And they have an app right here on my phone. And so if the app don't pick it up or I'm in a bad Wi-Fi section or something, it'll roll over to my regular phone, but they don't see. It's still got that layer there. So, but I think Google does that too.
Google does that too.
Yes, I don't know if there's any advantage.
It's just an extra step when and again, I wear so many different hats. I'm switching from one thing to the next to the next that I honestly am lazy.
You got multiple channels, as they say.
Right.
Yeah, I got you. All right, Reagan, what else we got?
Let's see. Okay, so do we offer in-house financing?
In-house financing. That's a very unique question. Have you ever been asked that, Miss Lindsay?
This morning at 10 a.m., actually.
Might be the same person. Who knows? We offer financing, but it's not in-house financing. And there's multiple reasons. The first reason is the lion's share of what a person's paying for when they onboard with us is for the trainer's time and support. So, for instance, when you buy a $997 package, $750 of that goes to your trainer and the support apparatus around that, And so different members are at different places financially. So I don't think it would be fair for me to ask my trainers to you front all of your work, your time, your support, and then you get dripped on later on to get paid. Yeah. So that's number one. Number two, it drives the cost of business up because we have tried that in the past and it turned us into a collection agency, which is a whole nother business.
And we don't have time to be chasing down payments.
Don't have time to be chasing down all of that. And I get this all the time. Well, Terry, if you believe so much in your system, why don't you just let me sell it and then pay you back through my commissions? And that's somewhat reasonable, I guess. But here's my response. We do allow you to do that at the affiliate level. That's why we have the sales. You don't have to buy any of our packages to become an affiliate and start reselling. What you do have to buy is the training, the software, and the system if you expect to support other people that you've sold it to and train them, because you can't train on something you don't own. And then the conversation typically evolves into, well, I can do that. What, do you not believe in your system? Why don't you just, I was like, I do believe in my system. I don't believe in you. And let me say why. It's not you personally. Don't mean that in a disparaging way. Is I don't know you. Yeah. I don't. I know, and there's no way to know if you will work out. And I know human nature, and I know human nature works that if something is painful frustrating, aggravating, if something takes me a little bit longer than what I thought it should, if I don't have any skin in the game, I throw my hands up, I walk away, and I quit.
Yep.
If I've got some money outlaid, if I went and paid for a degree to become a lawyer or a doctor or some sort of professional, and I've got thousands of dollars invested in this degree, I've got student loans, and then I go to my first court case and I get the floor wiped with me. I wipe the floor. I mean, whoever, just I'm an inexperienced attorney, or I go in and I start practicing medicine and it don't work out the first day, year. I don't quit. Why? Because I got an investment in this career.
You got bills to pay.
I got bills to pay. I got student loans. I have found after 10 years of doing this that the numbers speak for themselves. People that have invested in themselves, that have betted on themselves, typically will see it through, even when the going gets a little tough.
That goes beyond business too. I think, Lindsay, you talked about it. I mean, with the fitness industry, that's a big thing too.
Can I tell my story?
Yeah, go ahead.
So once upon a time, in many years ago, not that many, my daughter was a baby. And money was really, really tight. I wasn't working. And my husband's career was going well, but we had 2 little babies, and babies are expensive. And so we were one income. And I saw a fitness commercial on TV. And I said, wow, I bet I could get in great shape if I had that. And I had just delivered. I was 10 weeks postpartum. And it was like $300 or $400, which it might as well have been $3,000 at that point.
It's all relative, right?
Like, we did not have the money for that. And a few days later, it shows up at our house. And I'm like, what have you done? I was freaking out because there's no way we could afford that. And he's like, well, I wanted you to have it. I know that you want to get in shape. And so I believe you can do this.
Right.
And I got in the best shape of my life because
you had an accountability partner.
I did.
Because I think it's Tony Robbins in the book, Awake the Giant Within. He breaks out, and I've studied this in our Myers-Briggs training, and for you guys that have taken psychology, I don't know if you've taken psychology in college yet.
Not yet. Next semester, actually.
But do you know there's only 2 things that drive decisions, and we talked about decisions last week. What it is a decision. I cut off all other options except this one I've chosen. When I decide to marry someone, it says no more options. This is a person for me. That's a decision. Anything else is just a wish or maybe. That's not a decision. And so people sometimes wander around through life aimlessly because they haven't decided what they want and what they're going to go after. But Tony brought out something that's a good psychology. You know what the 2 things that drive decisions are? There's only 2 things that motivate, inform, inspire, and will actually compel you to make a decision. What are those 2 things?
One of them's money.
Okay, but that speaks to something else.
Oh.
That speaks to something else. I'm putting you on the spot.
Passion?
That speaks to something else. I'll go ahead and tell you.
Okay, tell me, because I got nothing.
The 2 things that drive decisions are pain and pleasure.
Okay.
I'm either seeking pleasure or I'm trying to avoid pain.
Okay.
That's in our human psyche. Yeah. Money is pleasure.
It's the fight or flight mentality,
it's
right?
It's the fight or but
it comes down to those like basic primal instincts essentially.
It's primal instincts. I do not want to feel this pain, therefore I'm going to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a car coming at me at 120 miles an hour. I don't want to get hit. I have decided to move. I'm not sitting here, you know what I'm saying? I see this lobster steak in front of me. I've decided to eat this because, this career path has promised to be able to pay a 6-figure income and work only a few hours a day from home. I'm seeking pleasure, right? So your decision-making process is always based on either seeking pleasure or trying to avoid pain.
Sure.
When you put someone, and this is for any of my coaches out there, one of the things I will tell you, the best thing that you'll ever see in your professional life, in my opinion, at least is for me, is to see someone else succeed. There's something just so rewarding to seeing, this person's got it, they're taking off. I mean, do you not just get...
Totally agree.
Well, if you truly care for people and you truly want to see them succeed, then put them in a position to succeed. And the way you do that is sometimes you wave the carrot and saying, this is what's available. And then you show them the hammer, but this is the pain. It could, it's going to cost. I was joking before we got on here. The reason I'm overweight is because I've made a decision that the pain of changing, eating better, exercising more, I have not put in my mind yet that the pain that is way understated of the pleasure I would get from better health. So that's that balancing act you have in your head. And so this past weekend, what I've just had to go through Saturday, 7 hours of torture, and I'm just like, I don't want to feel this anymore. I don't want to. And so I'm like, I've got to get in better shape.
So you're getting on the train, the neighborhood fitness train?
I'm getting on the neighborhood fitness train because I'm sick and tired. Now, what I've got is a little bit genetic, but it could alleviate a lot of that.
That's awesome.
And so, but the decision is based on I'm tired of this pain point and I want this pleasure. And now the status quo is becoming less and less pleasurable. So it's easier and easier to make a decision. Well,
and Gina's already on the train. So
Gina's on the train. She's on the health train.
So that'll be easy.
But the thing is, the question is, do we have in-house financing? No, because we have to go and chase people down, and we don't want to do that. And two, we have companies that will do that way better than we will at better terms. You can get our basic package, which is $9.97 for like around $29 a month.
Yeah.
And through these different credit companies. And then here's the thing: if you don't get approved with them, then don't sweat it. Become an affiliate for free and put in the sweat equity and just work your way there.
Which I feel comfortable saying this because you can always cut it out later. But we also did try that for a little bit and it just didn't work out. Like the people that we had come aboard, I think it was almost a 0% success rate. Like we had
finance,
however many people, none of them are still around because
none of them. And that's exactly right. I don't mind saying it. We tried in-house financing for a while for my personal business.
Yeah.
I couldn't promise it for other.
It wasn't for everybody, but it was for
because,
some of the people when you were signing on. Yeah.
But I don't even go this far. I mean, I don't mind saying it because it's the truth, and people need to know. Yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, I love God. Yes, I believe Jesus was not only divine, but he was divinity. I mean, so I'll go there. I don't mind saying that. But that doesn't mean that everybody that comes that says, Brother Terry, if you could just help me out and sow into me. If I truly want to help you, and the best way I can help you is first say, then you need to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
You need to invest in yourself. And once you invest in yourself, because I'm not going to, I've learned over years and years of counseling, you can only help people to the point they want to help themselves.
Sure.
And I have had 8 cases over the last 10 years where people have come to me and I just, for whatever reason, I said, okay, well, let me try and help them. None of them worked out. Why? Because there's no skin in the game. It's human nature. Because I don't know, I don't think and you guys hold me accountable, have I ever said what we do is easy?
No.
But I've said it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've said it's doable. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's even hard, because different people come at this. Some people have better sales experience. Some people have computer experiences better. Some people have, different life experiences that come in and sort of commingle into what we do, and they take off quicker than others. But at some point in our system of being able to work from home, put your business on autopilot, use all these different marketing tools and strategies, at some point, there's going to be something in there that you don't pick up on as quick as you do some of the other stuff. And so there's a learning process. And I'm not saying that that necessarily is going to happen overnight, but I'm telling you, it's there, it's doable, and it's so much worth it. I mean, going back to our topic, exceeding your own imagination by releasing the power within. If someone would have told me that it's possible to make $15,000-$20,000 a week, I'd have said, you're crazy. If someone would have told me I could work from home in my pajamas on autopilot, working just a few, I'd said, you're crazy. You're smoking crack. You're selling pie in the sky. But, here in 2019 almost, we're living it. And and it's not just us, it's tons of other people. So it's totally possible. So let me ask you guys this. What was a dream or something that you imagined growing up that you thought would have just be the coolest thing ever, but you didn't know if it'd ever become a reality. Has either one of you had, a dream growing up? I knew what my dream was, but I was just interested in what did you guys think about coming up as to, it'd be so cool to be able to do this. Wouldn't it
I had two.
What was it?
Number one was to be married and be a mom.
Well, you're living that.
So check.
Check.
And the other is to be a doctor.
Wow.
So these two dreams don't go together.
Right.
Because, you can be married and be a mom, but not the way that I want to do marriage and motherhood.
Right.
That doesn't work with
You could have done it,
weeks.
but you would have compromised on what your definition of
right.
that would have been.
Yeah.
I get that. So
maybe when the kids are out of the house, I'll go to med school.
You'd been a great doctor. Very caring.
Thank you.
Very, very.
I don't know. I don't have a ton. Like mine would get way too off topic because I wanted to be Spider-Man or something. So.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, you've never been conditioned that things aren't possible. That in your head, that was an option.
I remember I wanted to create video games. Like I actually looked into what kind of degrees and stuff you'd have to get to create video games and stuff, which I still think would be cool. But then I found out you have to be really good at math to actually make video games, and I'm like, maybe this isn't for me.
I had a boring one. I wanted to be a lawyer.
That's cool.
It's not boring.
You could still do that.
That's pretty boring.
I don't think so.
But then but here's where I'm going with this. I started asking myself later on, in the last couple of years, why did I want to be a lawyer? Why did I want to be a lawyer? Because growing up, that's the only thing I was exposed to. That was the only career that I was exposed to, where you had professional people speaking to other people and getting paid to speak to other people on a level of articulating and arguing a point. And I come here every Monday and I speak to professional people and argue and articulate a certain point, and I get paid for it. Yeah. I'm actually living my dream without a law degree. Now, I enjoy the law. There's some things and nuances there.
But I think the stuff that would have, you probably bypassed some of the stuff you would have hated about law, like all the.
I'm not tied to
the political mumbo jumbo,
all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing how if you will just pursue those passions inside of you. I mean, you wanted to care. Why did you want to be a doctor? If you get to that why, you might find that you're fulfilling that even today.
Well, I wanted to obviously help people, and then as I've gotten older, I really have a passion for natural health, holistic health. And
marijuana.
I mean, yes, I think that is yes.
What's the time code on that?
I don't smoke marijuana, but I do think it's very powerful.
The conversation's going sideways when
she has to clarify. I don't. First of all, I'd like to say I don't smoke marijuana.
I don't. But it's great. It's wonderful healing medicine that so many people need.
I agree with you, but
nah, I'm messing with you, Lindsay. But you're right. You've always been a person that's conscientious about health and wellness, and if you can do it naturally, that's what I've never understood, man. This is just the whole people think you can get away with selling anything as long as you say it's all natural. Have you ever noticed in marketing and everything? Well, it's all natural. It's all natural. Well, cocaine is all natural. So
which I do not recommend.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, so that can't be the be all end all if it's this. It's. But me and my wife have talked about this till she got irritated with me and told me to leave. But and I was like, why is it that if you slap all natural on any product, that is just like, okay, moms especially. Well, we got to get this. It's all natural.
That's not my code word. For me,
what's your trigger word? What's your code word?
If it says organic, I'm much more likely to trust it. Organic. But the truth is, even organic, there's some shady stuff that they put in there.
Cow pies are organic.
I mean, that's true.
There's an exception there. Do what?
Yeah, it's true.
That's true.
And eggs. Let's talk about eggs for a second.
Let's talk about where they come from.
They come from chickens.
Yes.
There's free range. There's vegetarian fed. There's non-GMO. Like, there's all these words that are tricky and confusing.
Right.
Really, the very best eggs come from chickens that are on a farm that are not fed just a vegetarian feed. They're free roaming, free range.
Eating rocks.
eating what chickens should eat.
Yeah.
You know, whatever chickens eat. I don't know that, but
I've never chased one around to see what
you haven't. But a lot of the reason why I'm so passionate about natural wellness is because I tried the medical way. I had a bad health 10 years of my life where I trusted doctors. I'm not saying they're not trustworthy.
No.
But the ones
your
that I
experience
trusted
was that, you know, it could have been solved a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
And more healthier if it was done in a more natural, holistic way.
I agree. I mean, I don't know. I guess I can't agree because I don't know. Because I had some really serious stuff going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got pregnant. Something like changed in me. Pregnancy righted a whole bunch of wrongs. I believe this Lord just healed me.
Yeah.
And then I have pursued that healing through natural wellness.
Right.
You know, getting away from any kind of medication.
I do think that anything you can do that's in nature. Yeah. You know, it's just like we buy the honey that's from around here.
Right. The local honey.
And I take we're starting to do the honey and vinegar thing.
Did Gina tell you about the vanilla honey that Justin found?
No.
At Ingles.
Vanilla
Some local honey. It has a vanilla bean thingamajigger in the honey. He's been raving about it. It's so good, he says.
I have to try that out.
Well, they say Willie Nelson's going to live forever, and I truly believe that. The man's almost 100 and still.
Did you hear his? No, I don't even know if I should bring this up. The debate he was having with someone about
legalizing marijuana. Yeah, and he said the only marijuana that's ever killed someone was the 100 hay barrel pound that fell off my truck and killed our roadie. That's the only marijuana that's ever killed anybody.
The only time in recorded history marijuana's ever killed anyone was a 50-pound bale of marijuana fell off the back of his.
Well, he's probably right.
Well,
marijuana does wonderful things for our bodies that are really healing.
It's true. You see all these people going out to Colorado to heal themselves.
I know someone personally that moved her child out to Colorado because he needed marijuana for his healing.
So I posted this on social media, and I said, out of all the jobs you've ever had, which one is the most rewarding and why? And I got some interesting comments. Of course, I got yours, Lindsay, and I appreciate that. But the two that I saw here, one, Marcia said, I worked at Abbott Labs with people who really were like family and cared for one another. So even talk about that, Lindsay, when you're working from home, how do you maintain that sense of connectivity and community and being with other people when you're sort of isolated at home? Because that is a big deal for a lot of people.
Well, I love to be alone.
Well, I understand because you're a little bit of an introvert over there. But there are people that want to feel connected.
So for me personally, our neighbor girls, there's a bunch of entrepreneur neighbors in our neighborhood.
Right.
And so I love to talk to my neighbor girls and, you know, try to get together and do fun things with them. That's one way. Another way is I play in our band at church. And so I get to go be around people and connect on Wednesday nights. So you're connected to
more community stuff rather than looking at your job.
Yeah. I talk to people all the time.
Sure.
You know, I talk to people on the phone, and obviously as a homeschool mom, my kids are at home. Mm-hmm. My husband gets home usually before 5, so I have those interactions as well, and then my family. But yeah, I just have all those different people that I know. I have another really good friend that's not in the neighborhood, and she and her husband own their own business, and she's a homeschool mom. She comes over, you know, and we do lunch and stuff. But yeah, just cool. Outside of the job.
You know, and the thing is, I mean, even I think with your clothing business, you probably have reps and get-togethers and calls and stuff that you guys do.
I have open shopping. You know, where
we do that at once a week at TW3. We get together. And
that's another thing.
You know, so we're connecting there. And of course, there's social media, and then there's this podcast that we do here. We're going to see each other at least once a week. So there are alternatives, but I do get that a lot because some people. They miss that sense of community and going into a physical office because that was their sort of sense of community and connectivity.
Right.
And they're scared that if I go home and work, then all of a sudden I'll lose that. But
then I would just say plan lunch with your friends that do work still in an office. Plan lunch every day.
Right.
If that's what you want to do.
Don't let that be a deterrent.
And take your lunch from 11 to 1.
Well, and the other thing is I feel like I'm more social now than I've ever been just because I got time for it.
Yeah.
You know, because when I was working in an office, they sort of frowned on us being too social.
Right.
They wanted you to get something done, you know.
Right.
But that was a great question and comment. Thanks for that, Marcia. And then I had another one. I like this one. Andrew said, I used to be a recruiter for DeVry formerly Bell and Howell Education Group. It was a high energy, long hours, and very demanding, but at graduation, one realized why they stayed at that crazy job. Many of these kids would have been very misplaced in the traditional 4-year college system and set for failure. Now they were experiencing their first major success victory, and you saw moms crying with happiness. I thought that was cool. And that to me speaks to, coaching and consulting and helping people grab a hold of something that they can tangibly use. And I think out of everything, I would say, I love the money here at TW3. I love what we make. But I sort of share his sensibilities when you see other people grab a hold of it and you see lives turn around because their income went from zero to now a hero. I mean, they're just they're winning at their life and their career, and you're seeing them go on vacations. You're seeing them enjoy, and you get to see them come to our conferences and share their stories. So we'll close out with that, guys. We're doing a conference, and we talked about it in episode 341 with Chris in here. And we want to just make sure you guys know that next week will be our last podcast of the year.
Really?
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Next year
I'm glad because I'm going somewhere, so I was probably going to miss one.
Yeah, well,
from a vacation. Next
week will be the last one of the year because then it's Christmas Eve and then New Year's Eve.
Okay, yeah.
The Mondays after, and so I can't stress it enough. Connectivity is so important, and I love the online medium we use. I love the podcasting. I love everything that we do. I think it keeps us connected. It allows people to understand we're real people. This isn't some sort of sham that's coming out of the, some foreign country that people are just pretending to be something. I know you don't pretend to talk like this. No one.
That's what Chris was saying. He's like, I can't believe so many people watch us. We're all a bunch of hillbillies.
Well, it is hee-haw, but, and for whatever reason, they decide to tune in. But if you want to connect with people like you from all over the U.S. that have gone from making nothing to making a high 6-figure income and doing it on their terms, making $40,000, $30,000, $20,000 a year, $50,000 a year, they're all over the map. The experiences that our people are having with TW3 is just absolutely amazing. And I can talk about it. You can hear them from time to time on the show, but to get to see them in person, to ask them questions, I'm telling you, it's going to be invaluable. I love what Mark said, Reagan, last week, that, here's a guy that was with us just for, a month, came to the Elite Conference, figured out, okay, these guys are legit. They're real.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And was able to ask the questions that...
I think he was with us a little bit longer, but yeah, that was kind of the thing. It was like it took him coming and sort of...
But he took off.
Yeah. It's sort of...
And he's on target. And this isn't including his RMP business. This isn't including, because we talked after the show and he goes, well, I'm going to actually make more than $130,000 this year because of this, and this. And then I was like, that's just in the
Sure.
So... He went from, a sale or two with us to going to clear a minimum, just what we know of, $130,000. Then his other business he's using this platform for. You're going to get to meet him and talk to him. Lindsay, he's working an hour or two a day, making you're going to, Gary, he's making 10, 12 grand a week.
Unreal.
You're going to get to meet Jane, who's a top influencer in our company that just really has taken our MBTI part of this business where, breaking down what makes you who you are, what would work well with you in this company and stuff. You're going to get to meet them. You're going to be able to ask questions, and you're going to get to hear from folks like Bill Perry and Chris and others that are going to inspire you, inform you. That's all coming up March the 21st through the 23rd of next year. And if you want tickets to that, you need to go to Worthmore Conference. Isn't it worthmoreconference.com? Let me go over there just to make sure.
I think so.
I should have pulled this up before I got over there.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, worthmoreconference.com. For just a brief second, I had a little bit of a, what do they call it, a brain faux pas? Worthmoreconference.com. Yeah, it's right there. Go over there, and right now you can get tickets for half off. It's going to be $397 first of the year. You can get tickets right now for $197. That gets you at, your tickets to get in. Of course, you can add a spouse or traveling partner for another $97 if you want, and to bring somebody. But there you see Miss Lindsay teaching her class. She's going to be talking. We've got Bill. He's going to be talking. Chris. They're going to even let me say a thing or two. And then Lindsay is going to do a breakout session. Gary Green's going to be there. Angela, who's written an incredible book that she's going to be talking about her path back from her situation and what she's had to walk through. She's going to inspire you, inform you. Mark is going to tell you things that he's doing that's just knocking out. Jane is going to say what makes you tick. How do you leverage these tools to fit your personality type, so that you're approaching your home-based business in a way that's right for you. And that's the thing I like about TW3, more so than any other business I know, is we try to isolate who are you, what makes you tick, what are you good at, and then put you in a situation where you're going to win. Instead of trying to say, okay, here's my armor, here's the way I fight battles, put this armor on, you go out and fight the giants this way. We say, no, if all you show up with is a few rocks and a slingshot, then, you do you, because you do what you're working with. And so that's what Jane's going to be able to do, is isolating in some of our other sessions. He's going to say, okay, for who you are, for your skill set, for your experience, this is how you need to approach this. And so, I think it's going to be a great time, Lindsay. I really
think
do.
so too.
You got your talk ready? Your talk?
Not completely, but I'm working on it.
Okay. So you're working on it. You're going to be ready for them. You did a great job last year.
Thank you.
You did. Everybody had high marks for Lindsay, and she's going to be there talking as well. So, guys, come out and see us. Get those tickets now before they go up. You don't want to miss that. And so we've got one more live podcast next week, and then we're off for the rest of the year to enjoy the holidays and stuff like that. It's $197 at worthmoreconference.com. You don't have to be a member to come. If you are a member, you'll definitely want to be there, because I'm telling you, the live training we do weekly, it is only but so good because it's online. Face to face, you have your laptop, we can sit down. Oh, here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. Think about doing this. We're going to be able to spend a lot more time and pour a lot more value into you. Till next time, this is Terry with Reagan and Lindsay. We'll see you on the flip side.
Thank you for listening to our show today at terrywilson3.com. If you would like more information on how we can take your money, your business, and your life to the next level, then please visit us online at terrywilson3.com or call 800-673-1728.
This is the Terry Wilson. Really? I'm excited, Terry. I want to get started here.
Is this a celebrity, Terry Wilson?
Oh my word.
How you doing, sir?
Dude, don't even go there. I've been listening to this for a while, and I'm finally like, okay, guys, what a privilege. I mean,